Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Dean Masalta. Dean is the CEO of Infinite Prime Amazon Agency. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Dean Masalta. Dean, welcome.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Excellent. Thank you so much. Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
So what happened with me is that I was actually on a trajectory of a path that I wasn't the brightest, and I was surrounded at the time before Amazon had happened with me, not around the brightest of minds that made decisions the greatest of ways. So from that, it took me down this road where I kind of had a woke moment, and then at that woke moment, it changed the course of my life. And then so I understood that I needed to change it to change it, and then the way that I changed it was through Amazon, and then through finding out Amazon, doing it myself, I found a desire, a passion, a love for it, where I wanted to teach people and help people, kind of show them a new way of thinking as well as a new way of how to generate money online through this e-commerce space. This was about 3.5 years ago, and from then, it's built from $0 for myself to over multiple seven figures in the e-commerce online space. And so what I do today is I teach, I instruct, and I lead individuals in showing them how to generate monthly cash flow specifically on the Amazon platform. All I've done is I've unlocked the secret of Amazon to simplify the process through my course, my coaching program, and my agency, showing people like, okay, this is how you do it, regarding whatever brand, whatever category that your product falls under. The process of steps A to Z is kind of similar and the same of how to get a product, existing or non-existing, up and running so that it can start selling organically on its platform.
What are the top three mistakes to avoid when it comes to growing your brand?
Top three mistakes to avoid is be patient. You know, you're not Nike, right? What I tell people is the world doesn't know you're Nike yet. So be patient with your brand, continue to innovate and create new things and new ways to market your brand. If that's through, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever it is, be patient with your brand, especially if it's a white collar brand and you're wanting the world to see it and purchase it. Second, biggest mistake is, I would say, is you know be always ready to pivot, because Amazon's algorithm changes all the time, right? One moment they're doing this thing, the next moment they're putting a block of how much inventory that you can receive into its warehouse, right? So be patient, be ready to always pivot, right? So that kind of falls under innovate always. And the third biggest mistake to avoid is do your homework, right? Just don't be open-minded. So many times I thought I had a good brand, before I started to put investing dollars behind it. But after looking at the market, and looking at, if it's actually selling, not just on Amazon, but on eBay, on Google Trends, right after doing my homework, the results, the analysis came back to me where it's like, you know what, it really is not selling. This category isn't the best category, and maybe I shouldn't put my dollar behind it. So be patient, change, and get ready to innovate, at a moment's time. So be open to that. And then three is, again, not holding such a tight grip on a brand that you think is good, but let the market decide. So do your homework always.
Wonderful, amazing, amazing. What is your greatest failure story? What did you learn and how did you recover from it?
My greatest failure story is one of my first top three products, and it was a pH meter 3-in-1. That's for like garden soil, for indoor and outdoor gardening. And I thought, going back to what I was just saying, I thought this product was going to be a diamond piece, right? Or it was going to sell and make me so much money. It cost me like $1.25 to get, custom box, all this other stuff, right? Put so much time and energy into it. But I was so new to Amazon. I didn't understand its algorithm. I didn't understand how to run successfully PPC with cross promotion, sponsored ads, keyword phrases, all these other things. And so that product was one of my top three first products that I'd started with. And from that, like, it was a complete dud. But what it showed me was that when I first started to sell it, because I didn't understand PPC and I didn't understand how it worked to how to rank on page one and how to drive external traffic internally onto Amazon's platform, it started to sell the first few days and I made about $800 profit. It was amazing. I was like, oh my gosh, this thing actually works.
Mm.
But in retrospect, I ended up losing that. Plus I lost another like $2,000. So now I'm negative $2,800. And because I just didn't understand Amazon's algorithm. So it wasn't the fact that I failed that perspective. It was the fact that I didn't have the understanding of the knowledge of how this process of how this platform works. So if I just do my homework, right, then I can potentially make this negative $2,800 into positive $2,800
Yeah.
if I just take my time and do the due diligence early on before I put an investing dollar behind it. So what I tell a lot of people is that, you know, Amazon's very repetitive, right? It's very consistent. The only thing that's different is your brand, your name, the category. The algorithm outside of, small little changes here and there, it's the same and it will forever be the same. So the process to A to Z is always kind of going to look like, identical if you have one product, if you have 20 products, if you have 100 products. So it's a matter of unlocking that success secret for that one product to now multiple products, because if you can now then unlock that, then you can recover from those mistakes that you've made early on when you were just learning this platform. So that's why I built a course, and the agency and the coaching program is to show people, like, you don't need to make those small little minuscule mistakes that I've made early on. Like, this is now your cheat sheet to success for Amazon.
I love it. What are your top three success secrets the others can model from?
My top three. You guys can look up this product on Amazon today. It's called Prime Labs. It's a testosterone booster. There's two types of them. There's a pill, like a capsule, and then it's a protein powder. And this was my number one product that
Okay,
scaled.
1 second, stop. I don't need your top three products. I mean, success secrets of creating a success that others can model from. They can follow your process of creating a success.
Yeah, I would say create a good habit, right? Stay consistent every single day, even if you're not seeing progress, um, or the result at first. Stay consistent. What I tell a lot of the students is, at least as long as you're doing one thing on your to-do task and you've completed that one thing every single day, well, that's a step forward into seeing, whatever you're wanting to see in your result of success. Like, that's a step forward, not a step backwards. So staying consistent, even if you don't want to. Two, I would say, mindset is everything, right? 90% is perspective and how you actually problem solve situations when they arise. 10% is actually, the process, the logistics, and the procedures of, how you want to do it. So mindset, making sure that your self-development of how you think and how you operate is intact. And the third thing I would say is, honestly, eating healthy. There's been so many times in this journey where stress has overwhelmed me that I just stopped eating, right? So making sure, like, yeah, your self being, because once you have the right nutrition, you can think clearly, right? You can make the sound decisions that are going to be needed as a owner of your brand, or your business or your company or your agency, whatever it is, right? So making sure, like, your body, your health is intact, because that is all going to play a big role into a ripple effect of every decision that you make in order to grow and become successful in whatever industry, whatever business you're in.
Mm, wonderful. We are about to move into a lightning round. That means quick question and quick answer. Are you ready?
Hmm.
What are you grateful for today?
My 7-year-old daughter.
How young are you?
28.
So you are 18 years old with 10 years experience.
Yeah.
What you want to do when you grow up?
I want to be, what do I want to do when I grow up? The same thing I'm doing now: motivate, instruct, and teach and lead people.
How do you overcome a challenge life throws at you?
I accept it. It's what the doctor prescribed upstairs.
How do you start your day?
With daily motivation, I have flashcards, and I speak life right back into me.
What is the advice you will give to younger yourself?
Don't give up. Continue to go. It's going to be worth it.
Once you have a revenue generating idea, how do you convince your significant other?
Take the leap. Believe the process. Don't give up.
What is the impactful book you have read and what did you learn from it?
This book right here, it's called Traction. This book, hands down, has changed my life in how I have taken a grip of my company in the business, of where it teaches you and it helps you to scale in a very practical way by showing you processes, procedures, KPIs, quarterly, yearly goals, and like benchmarks that you need to hit, and how do you actually hit those in a practical way with creating these daily habits with yourself as well as your team. So that book alone, Traction, has changed my entire infrastructure and operations for myself and my team of how we actually hit these goals, quarterly as well as yearly.
Why being impactful is important to you?
I mean, Tony Robbins says success without failure, or success without fulfillment is failure, right? You can have success, but if you have no fulfillment, you failed. So by creating impact in others, that's success. No dollar amount of whatever, how much you have in your bank account will ever be more fulfilling than changing someone's life in an impactful way that is going to help their circle of influence, if it's family, if it's friends, or if it's relationships. Once you impact that, right, that's so much more fulfilling, more so than like, oh, I just got 10 grand off of a product that I sold, so that's the most impactful.
Who is your mentor and what's the impact?
His name is Gerard Adams. You guys can look him up, anywhere, Instagram, Google, YouTube. Gerard Adams. And what he told me one day is, he said, Dean, the fear of running away is always greater than the fear of running in. Right? And that has been the most impactful thing, where it taught me, despite your fears and your doubts and insecurities, run forward them, because you never know what's on the other side. Right? You never know what's on the other side of you, the fear, the doubt, and the insecurity. So it can be a good thing, but also it can also be a bad thing. So as long as you will never know that, though, if you stay where you're at. So rather than staying where you're at, of that thought that will, battle you at night of, what if this happens? What if that happens? Move forward it, because what if it ends up being a good thing?
What do you want to be remembered for?
Legacy. So the way that I see legacy is cultivating and creating a community of individuals that create impact wherever they go, to whoever is right in front of them, right? Is to create legacy on this earth, where it's, we've changed people's lives for the better, and we've brought fulfillment in their life through this space that we're in, which happens to be Amazon.
Who is your ideal client?
My ideal client is someone who understands culture, who understands community, and who understands, what I just mentioned, legacy, right? Growth. Someone that has the mind to expand, to innovate, and to, be better, reach their full potential, right? That's the ideal client. Not more so about the dollar amount, but more so about culture. Do they fit in with the culture? Because if they do, then it's like, okay, we can work together. We're not going to bump heads all the time, right? We can do something great here and build something really, really cool.
How can we support you?
You guys can support me. Follow me on Instagram, which is D Masalta. LinkedIn, YouTube. All across the board. It's just my first and last name, which is D Masalta. Also, if you guys want to become a client, if it's a student, take the course. If it's a coaching program, one-on-one with me, or if it's the automation agency, right, you can take that as well. All these ways you guys can support, but the easiest way, completely for free, is through following and supporting through social media, Instagram.
Wonderful. We are about to wrap up. I'd like to have a few words about your today's guest experience on the show. Here is my question. What would you say about your today's guest experience on the show?
So much fun. I love doing interviews with like-minded individuals like yourself, where we can just kind of piggyback off of ideas. We can make it fun. We can make it engaging, alive. Right. My experience with this show specifically is just it's just non-regretful.
What would you say as a final word?
Thank you. You guys, whoever's watching this right now is whatever you do not give up. Believe in yourself. Continue to move forward. Even if people at first are saying otherwise, that you can't do it, that you can't make it, that you're a failure, that you're destructive, like whatever the case may be, will never know what's on the other side of your yes. But that yes requires that one foot forward first.
Thank you so much, Dean Masalta, for sharing your wisdom with us today. On the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team, we really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.
Thank you. Thank you.